So for those of you who don't know me, I am Nicole McLeod, and I'm one of the supervisors here on Team Cover to Cover. So I've been doing Usborne for a year and a half and love all the books and selling them. I live in Ontario, so I have done a whole bunch of HST parties. Hold on one moment. Can you please go see Daddy downstairs? Sorry. So I am just going to walk you through what is HST and walk you through a couple of orders and see if that helps. So first of all, let me just start with saying, kind of giving you a quick little overview. So GST is government sales tax, and that is the provincial tax that is charged on all books. So whether you're from BC or Newfoundland or anywhere in between, there's GST charged on all books. However, there are 5 provinces that have HST at a different rate. And HST is considered harmonized sales tax. So it blends together GST and other things, and it comes up with HST. So for some books, there's an HST charged instead of GST. So you would never charge both. So HST is the tax that is applied to anything that's kind of considered non-essential books. So GST is on all your basic reading books. And HST is applied to sticker books, activity books, jigsaw puzzles, toys, like any of the books that are like, that's not mine, with the unicorn stuffy or with the owl, or anything that kind of is a little bit more elaborate will have HST. So those 5 provinces are Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and PEI. So in Ontario, the HST is 13%, and in all the other provinces, the rate is 15% for the other 4 provinces that are charging HST. You don't really have to remember that. It is on the bottom of our order forms. Where is it? Right here. Provincial tax rate is right there. Whenever I do a party, if it's not in my own province, I just look up online to make sure that the tax rate is that, to make sure our order forms are accurate or whatever. So that is the basic kind of thing. However, you don't really have to remember like which things are charged HST and which aren't, and I don't really want to get too much into which ones are and aren't, because really as a consultant, you always want to reference the stock list to verify, because I have had it before where there's been a book where I'm like, that'll for sure have HST, and then I look and I'm like, oh, it doesn't. So there's a great easy stock list, and that will help verify. So I'm going to share a screen here for a moment. Let's see if this works. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is, hold on a second. Can someone tell me yes if you can see it? Okay, great, thanks. So the first thing we're gonna do always when you get an order, so I have an order here. So we're gonna pretend this is our sample order. So our customer, we're gonna cover this up, pretend we don't know this part yet. So our customer ordered 1, 2, 3 flashcards. So I'm always going to put the product code 054413 into standard products in Web Express to make sure it's in stock and to verify the price. So it is $10.95, it's in stock, and it's the right thing. So we're going to add it to our order. The next thing I'm going to always do is pull up my stock list. So to do that, we go to Usborne Books at Home website, Consultant Tools. We're going to log in there. So under Consultant Tools, you click Stock Update. So we're going to go there and see the list of stock that's available. You can click on this, which is a little bit of a more concise stock list, just like this. And what I would do is just type in the number again, and it will highlight it, the number. Sorry, I did this one, 054413, but if you just, on a Mac, you type
out right down
054413, and then there you go. So you know that it's there. And the way we know that this is an HST book is we have an asterisk there. So that asterisk is the key thing for HST, is that now we know, okay, that one is HST. So the next step on our order form is that I put a line through the GST, because this book is not being charged GST, because as I told you earlier, it's either GST or HST. So we're gonna put the amount here in HST amount, $10.95. Then we move on to the next thing our customer ordered, which was 123 fold out board book. So 926362. Go back to our order entry, 926362. I think that's right. Fold out board book, $10.95. Great. So now we take that number and we're gonna look, I just copied it so I can look in my stock list. But anyway, you don't have to search it. You can just also look for the name of it. 123 fold out board book, and there's no asterisk. So this is a GST book. There's no HST. So we pull up our list, put a strike through HST, transfer it over to GST. Next thing is 100 little things for children to do on a journey. 089217. 089217. Oh, it's gonna freeze. So it's gonna tell us that it's $11.95. We're gonna go to the stock list. Look for, I'll just show you how we could look. 100 things for little children on a journey right here. And it's $11.95 and it has an asterisk. So now when we go to our list, we're gonna put the retail price is $11.95 times 2 because we had quantity 2, $23.90, and that's gonna be an HST one. And then the same thing for ants, which is right here on our list, ants. And that one has no asterisk, so it's GST only. So there we go, $8.95, $8.95. Obviously, we'll put it into our order. So now what we do is we total the total retail price of the books. The reason this is important is because our shipping is charged still on the full retail price. Shipping doesn't care whether it's GST or HST. Then we calculate GST, all our GST chargeable and all our HST chargeable. So the next step is to say this customer is entitled to a customer special. So we put that one in here, the retail price and the discounted total. Again, the retail price is so that we can figure out the shipping rate when we add them together. So this is where we kind of break it down. So total sales GST payable. So this $24.88 is for B plus F. So this is the GST part. So the total amount of the GST books plus F. And the reason for this is because customer specials are GST only. So that's one of the things to kind of know. Customer specials are always going to be GST only. Total sales HST payable, this $34.85 is C. So that's right up here. Total sales G plus H is these two together. Shipping and handling is A, the total retail price of books plus the retail price of the customer special, times 10%. So that shouldn't say $64.70, it's $647. If special delivery, if they want it, this is the 10% is if it's shipped to the host's house. If they want it shipped directly to them, it's an additional $10. So you would put that in here. And then the GST total is times 5% because that's the GST rate. So in this right here, GST total is for the GST payable times 5%. And then the HST total is the H, J, and K. So the reason here is H is the total sales HST payable, plus shipping and special delivery are charged HST. So we put in here our provincial HST rate. So depending on which province over here you're doing, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or Newfoundland, you're going to put your rate in here. This doesn't say PEI on it, but it's the same. Then you put your rate here, and then the total due, you add those up. So really, as much as HST is daunting, if we use this order form, it does really break it down for us so you understand which ones you're adding together and when and why, so that you get your correct total, with some of them being charged GST and some books charged HST. Now, I'm going to show you one more order, which is here. That is an order that somebody placed. And here, this is the electronic order form. So I hope this is clear as well. But it's just that it organizes it slightly different on the electronic order form. This is what I use because it calculates it automatically, but it is important for you to understand kind of how we get these numbers. So this person ordered Peep Inside Animal Homes. So I would go to the stock list, search for Peep Inside Animal Homes. It's alphabetical, so you can just scroll down through it, but you can look until we find it. Peep Inside Animal Homes for book, there's no asterisk, so it's $12.95. So we're going to go back here, $12.95. Very first reading, 1, 2, 3. Again, we would go back to our stock list, look for the book, and verify. Very first. I didn't actually check these ones, but basically here I've already checked all of those, and I found out that GST payable, we have this list here is the GST payable ones. And then while I go back and forth when my person sends the order, I put the HST ones down here. So these are our HST, our 3 HST books. So when you're putting in the order in the electronic one, you just sort them right away. So the GST section goes here, the HST section goes here, and then customer specials go down in this section. And then the idea is that your computer in your spreadsheet should calculate this for you. So the total sales GST payable, but it really is the same principle as the other one in how it's calculated, A plus D, etc. It's just slightly laid out different. So the A here is the total GST sales plus D, which is how much they're paying for their customer special. Because if you remember, they're paying GST on the actual amount they paid for their customer special. So that's their total sales GST payable is A plus D. So we did that one. HST payable is going to be this whole little section here. So that's $46.85. And then the total sales is E plus F. Right, so these last two that we Then shipping and handling is going to be charged on the total retail show value. So that's this plus shipping and handling is A plus B plus C. So this number plus C, the retail total of the customer specials. And then times 10%. So that's shipping and handling. Again, if they want special delivery, that's here. GST total is the GST total sales times 5%. HST total is F plus H, so the HST part, plus H and I, shipping and special delivery, times, so this is based on Ontario, this spreadsheet, so you would have to double click on this, and it says up here times 0.13, so that's times 13%. So if you were doing a province other than Ontario, you would want to change this to 15%. And then your total due is going to be all these amounts right here. So hopefully that is not too confusing. That's how the whole rates, the provincial HST rates here. And then I would just fill in here what their method of payment is, if it's e-transfer or credit card or whatever. And that should be clear for that part. Now, before, I will open it up shortly now for questions, but quickly I just wanted to talk about, I think we can stop the screen share so I can see all of you. I just wanted to talk about host rewards. So that's always a big question. So host rewards are not charged HST. So that's just like whenever, like if you think customer specials aren't charged HST and host rewards are not either, it's just the way it works and the way the system works. So just so you know that offhand. However, they will still pay GST on the amount that they're paying, right? So if they get 70% off, if they choose to double up and they get 70% off, then so say for example, they earned $100 and they end up paying $30, then they're going to pay 30 GST on the $30, right? But they don't have to pay HST. So that's the same as if you're in a GST province. And the shipping is always in HST provinces, always charges HST. So you know that the shipping is always on the retail cost of the book. So even if the host gets free books, they're still paying 10% in shipping on their free books. And then there's always HST on the shipping. So is everybody's head spinning? Some yeses, some nos. I think that's basically the quick synopsis of HST. And really, honestly, it's it can seem daunting, but to me, I don't even do provinces that aren't, so it's not at all intimidating. It's just part of the process. I think the key is always having open your order, so handwriting it on paper or putting it in an Excel spreadsheet, whichever way you're doing it, have your order form where you put their order, then having Web Express open to be putting it in right away so you can hold the book, so you make sure they're in stock, so you verify that your price is right away, entering them in there. And then the third thing is having your stock list available to reference while you're entering them in so that you know whether they go in the HST category or the GST category. Because like I said, sometimes it's like, oh, of course that would be HST, and then it's not, or vice versa. So just making sure to reference that. So I think that is basically it for what I wanted to tell you about HST, but I'm happy to answer questions if you want me to walk through another part of it again, or if you feel like we could clarify something more specifically, just unmute yourself. Oh, yes. Thank you, Janelle. I did not say this. How is the HST? So Janelle's question is about HST and where the host is, but that's a great question. So the HST is charged based on where the host is. So if the host is in Ontario, then everybody in her party is charged HST, even if it's a special delivery to an out of Ontario province. And if the host is in Manitoba or BC or Alberta or Saskatchewan, any of the non-HST provinces, then the tax rate is selected based on the address of the host. Make sense? Thanks, Janelle. Good question. All right, I'm going to stop the recording here. And